I've grown my AI agency to over $10,000 a month and sold my automations to thousands of customers. But today, I want to show you exactly how I would use ChatGPT-5 if I was starting over today with nothing. So the goal today is to use ChatGPT-5 to start an AI agency and grow it from $0 to $10,000 a month. So there's a couple things I want to do today. The first thing we need to do is we need to define our industry and our ideal customer profile. So what industry are we in? Who do we want to work with? What does our ideal customer look like? Or in this case, it's called an ICP. That's the abbreviation. Once we have that figured out, I just want to use Lovable to build a little agency website, like the homepage, like a landing page, just something so that our presence is up. And then from there, I want to create a marketing strategy using ChatGPT-5 and deep research to help us figure out how to actually get clients now that we actually have a company. After that, we're going to turn that into a 7-day action plan because I like to break things down into chunks. So having just 1 week of action is going to be really, really helpful when you're first getting started. And then you can do the next week and the next week. And then from there, we're just going to use this to create marketing asset number 1. I don't know if it's going to be a LinkedIn post or a YouTube video. We'll see what ChatGPT recommends. And then from there, you can use all the research ChatGPT does to continue to grow your agency. So I'm going to hop in and get started. And today, instead of typing in the text box, I'm actually going to use the dictate feature so I can just talk to ChatGPT. It's going to feel weird at first, but it's actually a lot more efficient. You can sort of just like ramble with it and ChatGPT will understand what you're trying to say and it will help guide you in the right direction. It's also significantly faster and more efficient than trying to type in this chat box. You are a career coach and expert in the AI and automation industry, and today I need your help figuring out my company. So the first thing I need your help with is determining my ICP, my ideal customer profile, and what industry I should start for AI automations. So ask me questions until you are 95% sure you can complete the task. So that last sentence is actually super, super impactful because we haven't really given ChatGPT all that much information about us yet, but it's going to ask me some questions now to help give it a little bit more guidance, and it's going to return a much better answer for us. And if you look up here, you can see we're actually using the new ChatGPT-5 model. So let's go ahead and we'll send this off. So ChatGPT has come back with some really great questions, and I use it this way a lot. And honestly, you don't have to answer all of them. Just answer the ones that you can to the best of your ability. So what is your current capacity for delivery? How many clients can you serve at once? How complex are the systems? And what's your preferred level of customization? Okay, preferred pricing model, flat fee, monthly retainer, performance-based, hybrid. You can always say like, I'm not sure what pricing strategy I should use. Can you suggest one for me? Which automation platforms do you want to prioritize? Make, N8N, Airtable, or others? This is like a really incredible list that ChatGPT came up with in like a couple of seconds. So these questions I can already tell are significantly better than the questions I was getting from ChatGPT-4. Okay, so this part is really important, I think. List industries where you have existing credibility, network access, or insider knowledge. So when you're starting an AI agency, like pull from what you've already done. What industries do you know? And start there. It's going to be the easiest place to start. What industries do you have zero direct experience? What is the shortest ROI period you can deliver to a client? Do you prefer selling to businesses with established budgets? Yes, for sure. What is your preferred deal size? Small, recurring, $200 to $500 a month, or medium, 1 to 3, or large enterprise level? Again, this has to do with your level of comfort and where you are at in this process. Do you want a niche where you can sell one-off systems at high margins, or where you can build long-term retainers? So this is really interesting. Like, I love these types of personal questions. Already going through this, you're going to have a much clearer picture of your business and the business you want to grow. How important is it for you to choose a niche where you can publicly showcase work? I will say yes, this is super, super important. Are you aiming for industries with high compliance regulation? Do you want a niche where automation ROI is tied to direct revenue growth? Okay, so this is important. I'm going to basically say if you can get this, it is always to your advantage. If you can basically tie your revenue to the like results of your systems or to a company's revenue, like if all of a sudden your system is, saving a company $200,000 a year or earning them $200,000 a year and you take a percentage of that, you can become very, very rich very, very quickly. How much do you want to handle post-install maintenance? What geographies are you targeting? Do you have a preference for working for solo operators, small teams, or mid to large companies? Okay, this is great. So let me go ahead and let me see if I can answer these questions to the best of my ability. And again, you can leave stuff out if you're unsure. My current capacity for delivery, I think I can serve 3 to 5 clients at once comfortably just with myself. I can build intermediate to advanced level systems. I'd honestly prefer to not have to customize these like too greatly and kind of create like repeatable solutions for my clients. My preferred pricing model is I like working with like either flat fee. I mean, flat fee plus monthly retainer works for me. I usually take 50% up front and then 50% at the end of the job. And again, so it's okay if I ramble here. Performance based is really great. Like I love a results based model. Super, super helpful. If the client makes money, I should get a percentage of that. Really happy with that. I'm super comfortable in both Make, N8N, Airtable, all of that, but I definitely prefer N8N to everything else. And I can definitely have fully AI driven workflows is totally fine. List industries where you have existing credibility. I think I have a lot of interest in the real estate industry and like insurance and like the legal industry. I think those industries have a lot of money and a lot of manual processes. I have zero direct experience. Not sure. I'm going to leave that one blank. Shortest ROI period you can deliver to a client. Time from onboarding to measurable results. I would say 4 to 6 weeks. You can start seeing results with clients typically. Do I prefer selling to businesses? I definitely prefer selling to businesses with established budgets. That's always really much easier to work with. Preferred deal size, the bigger the deal, the better. I would say let's start medium since we're starting an agency from scratch. So let's say medium, 1 to 3K a month. Do I want a niche where I can sell one-off systems at high margins or where you can build long-term retainers? Let's go with long-term retainers for now since we're just starting this agency. It's definitely important I can choose an industry where I can showcase work because I think building in public is extremely, extremely important right now, especially vibe marketing is huge. I'm aiming for industries with definitely don't want industries with high compliance regulations. Definitely not. Fast moving markets is cool. E-commerce marketing is great. Do I want a niche where automation ROI is tied to direct revenue growth? I think I'm fine with that. How much do you want to handle post-install maintenance? Ideally, personally, I don't want to handle post-install maintenance, but I think it's a necessary evil. In this case, I think, honestly, handing off turnkey systems, they're turnkey out the gate, but they're always going to require maintenance and updates. And so I think we have an understanding of that. And I definitely want to target the U.S., especially the West Coast, because that's where I live. And I have a preference of working solo operators or small teams, I think is fine when we're just getting started. And so now I just went ahead and gave ChatGPT all of my answers to all of these questions. It's going to process all of this information and it's going to help us kind of determine, the industry we should be in and our ideal customer profile. So you can see here, it just went ahead and it transcribed that long rambling message that I had. So let me just send this off and see what results we get. It's insanely fast. Okay, cool. So it's asking us even more questions here, which is really, really crazy. I still need clarity on the following to lock in your ICP and industry. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to click dictate now and kind of read this aloud and do my best. In real estate, insurance, and legal, rank them by personal interest and enthusiasm to immerse yourself in their problems for the next. I love this. Again, how excited are you? If you're not excited, you're going to burn out. So I'd say real estate is probably number one for me right now. Do I prefer to sell businesses, prefer selling to businesses where the buyer is the founder and decision maker or to companies where you'd be pitching? I mean, obviously, I think, if you're able to sell to businesses, where the buyer is the founder or decision maker, that's going to be the path of least resistance for you. You want to be talking to someone who can actually cut you a check at the end of the day. Of the industries you listed, which has the biggest existing network or warm leads you can leverage immediately, I'm not sure about that for now. How comfortable are you with high volume outbound prospecting? I prefer to not do outbound, but I'm fairly comfortable with outbound prospecting if I have to do it. Am I more motivated by solving operational bottlenecks, time savings, or by driving direct client revenue growth through marketing, sales, automations? For me personally, I like direct client revenue growth through marketing and sales automations. Then for showcasing your work publicly, are you okay with anonymizing client data, or does the niche need to allow for full public case studies without restrictions? I think I can anonymize client data well enough for the most part. Which matters more for your first year, high likelihood of closing first deals quickly or long-term market potential, even if sales take longer? For me personally, I think long-term market potential is huge, but I think for a lot of people, when they're first getting started, they want to be able to close deals quickly. It kind of depends on your personal preference. I'll say for me, long-term market potential, even if sales take longer, is actually the most important for me personally. Again, your situation might be different. So again, I'm just going to send this off. ChatGPT is going to go ahead and transcribe this message for us. I'm going to send it to the system, and then from there, we're going to take the output from this, which is going to define our industry and our ideal customer profile. And then I want to use this to create our first website for the agency. So this is super cool. Okay, this has enough information to define our ICP and starting industry. So the industry is real estate, residential agents, small brokerages, property management, U.S. West Coast priority, decision maker, founder, owner, principal, broker. Great. Small to mid-sized teams with established marketing spend. Pain points, lead generation inefficiency, slow follow-up, poor lead nurturing, manual marketing processes. So if you're unsure where to start, now ChatGPT has literally told me what problems this industry is facing. And if I can build automations that solve these problems, I am pretty confident that I can go ahead and get clients. Buying motivation, direct increase in deal flow and closed transactions. Here's the budget range. I'm comfortable with 1 to 3K a month that show ROI in about 6 weeks. Willing to allow case studies. high transaction volume, marketing and sales centric, lower regulatory. So this basically is just giving me the reasoning for real estate as an entry point. So this is super, super cool. So the next step would be mapping top 3 automation offers for this ICP that align with your delivery capacity and retention goals. I'm actually going to tell ChatGPT to go ahead and do that, because then I think we can take that information and just have that as like the service offerings on the website. Please map the top 3 automation offers. Sometimes it makes sense to type. Okay, lead capture and instant nurture system, cool automated listing marketing engine, interesting pipeline, integrate intelligence, and deal flow tracker. Okay, am I confident that I can build those? Maybe yes, maybe no. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to say, yeah, these are great. Let's go ahead and build these out. Now that we have all of this information, I want to create the first website for my agency. So I need you to actually create a prompt for an AI developer, basically in giving it all the instructions it needs to create a homepage or a landing page for my AI agency that focuses on real estate and basically all, the ICP and the industry and the top 3 automations as like the core services that we offer, and basically everything that we talked about today. So let me go ahead, let's transcribe this, we'll send it off, and then I'm going to bring this over to Lovable, and it's going to build out the web page for us. It's going to be insane. So that was pretty cool. Like, this is what's cool about the new ChatGPT. It says it's thinking longer. It's creating clear AI development. Now it tells us it thought for 9 seconds. Basically, the new model will kind of like code switch or context switch depending on how complex the task is. It'll actually like activate, the thinking models if you ask it to do more work. So this just created a system prompt for the AI developer. You are a senior full stack developer and conversion focused marketer. Cool. Deliver a production ready homepage, landing page for an AI automation agency focused on US real estate. No placeholders beyond those provided. Ship a complete, performant, accessible, SEO optimized page with clean documented code and content populated from this brief. That is a powerful prompt. I always like using ChatGPT or another AI agent to write the prompts for me, because they're always going to do the optimal job for prompt writing. Here's the hero section. Here's the primary CTA and secondary CTA. Like, here's the problem and outcome. Here are the services we offer. Here are the results, right? Basically what you can, what your client can expect from the systems that you build. Here's the pricing. So it already did all this work for me. And let's just rock with this exactly as is. This is really cool. Sample content JSON. Interesting. So, okay, cool. I'm not actually entirely sure what this is, but let me just go ahead and I'm just literally just going to click copy here. And I'm just going to come over to Lovable.dev and I'm just going to paste in everything that it just gave me. What's cool is that you can actually see here that GPT-5 is already integrated into Lovable. So I just sent this off and I'm going to let Lovable get to work, but we can continue working with ChatGPT. And so now you can see here that basically we can just check these off. We basically defined our industry and ideal customer profile. Lovable is building our agency site. Let's see how it comes out. So the next thing we need to do is we want to create a marketing strategy using deep research. So I'm just going to come back into our chat right here. And I'm just going to click the plus. So I want to make sure that we actually use deep research. Now, deep research will take some time to run, but the results that you get from it are absolutely incredible. Great. We are switching gears again a little bit here. Now that we have our site up and we've defined our industry and our ideal customer profile, we need to create an optimized marketing plan for my agency. And so I need you to do a lot of deep research around how are other AI automation agencies marketing themselves? How should I be marketing to the real estate industry in particular? And I want to create at least a 30-day game plan that basically says, like, here are the strategies that you should use. Should we be using social media? I'd prefer not to use paid ads at first since we're just getting started, but I definitely please include paid ads in your research because I think it will be an important part of our scale. And again, ask me any questions that you need to complete this task as well. So cool. To build an optimized 30-day marketing plan for your AI automation agency focused on real estate, I need a few more details. Which social platforms do you already have active accounts on? Are you comfortable being the face of the brand? I'm just going to go ahead and do what I did before, where I'm just going to go ahead and answer these questions live, because why wait? I already have active accounts on LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. I'd say for me personally, I'm definitely comfortable being the face of the brand. Videos, thought leadership posts. I think anybody who is starting an agency should do this. This is the best way to attract clients in my mind. Do I have any testimonials? I definitely have testimonials and case studies, as well as a portfolio of pieces from previous automations. If this is you, you may not have this. Just tell ChatGPT you don't have this yet, and that's fine. Personally, I do have an email list or existing CRM, but for the case of this, actually in this case, let's say I don't have any testimonials and I don't have an email list. I just want to clarify and confirm I don't have any testimonials and I don't have an email list since we're trying to build this from scratch. Do I want the marketing plan to include cold outreach? Yes, I definitely want to include cold outreach. How much time per week can be dedicated to that? I can spend 5 to 10 hours a week on cold outreach. Are you planning to offer any lead magnets, webinars, audits, or free consultations? Make suggestions for what I should do here. I think I can definitely offer any of these, but I'm actually not sure what's best. I think I'll definitely offer lead magnets and audits, and maybe even free consultations to get started. But again, consider me just a beginner and new to an AI agency. So let me know, really what I should offer here as my initial strategy. Let's send this off too. So now it's just saying I will create a 30-day marketing strategy for your AI automation agency focused on the real estate sector. This plan will leverage organic content on LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. Those are my existing channels, cold outreach, and strategic use of lead magnets, audits, and consultations to build pipeline without paid ads initially. I'll research how other successful AI automation agencies structure their outreach, content, and funnel strategies to inform your approach, and I'll get back to you with the full plan shortly. And so now you can see here that this is starting the research for us. And like I said, deep research does take a long time. It can take 15 minutes. It can take 2 hours, depending on how thorough your question is, but let this thing cook and the results are going to impress you. So I'm just going to pause this here and I'm going to come back once we have our site up and once we have our deep research done. Okay, cool. So this is why I think Lovable is so powerful. Like, we already built out a complete site for our AI agency. I will tell you that I had like an error at first, and I think it's probably because ChatGPT kind of like gave it too much to build. Like, I didn't need all the integrations and fancy stuff. So I just told it to like fix the error and that it could simplify the structure, because all I needed was the landing page. And so if I just close this for now, like let's go ahead and look through this, right? N8N first, built in the US, ROI in less than or equal to in about 6 weeks. AI automations that help real estate teams close more deals, speed to lead in seconds, listings marketed automatically, and a pipeline that never goes dark. Okay, so here we go. We can see that this basically, like, we don't need this, right? We can tell it to remove this section if we want. We already have our calls to action here, book a strategy call, see how it works. We have, services, here's some of the pains that they have, right? Slow follow-up, manual listening, installed pipeline. Okay, so here are the offers that we've installed, measured, and improved. And so I think some of the copy could work better. I think some of the systems can be refined, but I think, as a starting point, I think this is like pretty incredible. Just kind of gives you an idea of what type of content you can have, and then you can go back in and kind of like tell it to make changes and evaluate it more thoroughly, right? Like lead capture and instant nurture, automated listed marketing, pipeline intelligence. Like I almost think like we can get rid of like this, we can get rid of like this whole section, and we can just have this results delivered. I think this is cool, although I think like, this is kind of like, to me, like from a design background, like this is kind of ugly. I think we could plus this up and make this part look cooler with the results. Simple setup and monthly optimization. Like this basically tells us exactly how much it would cost the client. Like this is cool. Like the people who book calls from something like this, if your prices are laid out there, are going to want to work with you. They already know how much you charge, so they can't be like, oh, like I'm surprised by how expensive this is, right? They understand. Then we have a full breakdown of the process. Here's the ICP fit and goals. Here's the architecture. Here's the build time, the pilot, and then here's optimization for ongoing. And then some FAQs and things like that. And then about us. And then if we're ready to deploy revenue systems, they can book a call. They can fill out this form. And so I think there's like, some redundancy here. So I'd probably either remove the contact form or this book a strategy call CTA here, because like you really want to simplify things for people so that they're not confused about where to go. But again, as like a general structure and like the bones of a site, this is a really good starting spot. And so now we've kind of got ourselves set up with Lovable. Super cool. And if we just pop back in here, you can see that deep research is still researching for us. It's probably been like about 10 minutes or so. So I know I'm going to get some really incredible answers from this. So again, I'm going to pause for a second and I'll come back once we have all our research done. But from here, we can see we built our agency site. Right now it's researching the strategy, and then we're going to take it, we'll create our action plan, and then we'll have ChatGPT create our first marketing asset. So ChatGPT-5 just finished our deep research. You can see it took 7 minutes. It has 17 sources and came back with 92 search results. And so this put together a 30-day marketing plan for launching an AI automation agency that has a focus on real estate, has all of our overview and objectives. It has the competitive landscape, so how other automation agencies are marketing themselves. They do use niche targeting and pain points. They have thought leadership content. They do cold outreach and personalization, basic web and social presence. That's kind of what we just built with Lovable, right? Free audits and trials. So these might be really powerful to getting your first clients in the door. So how do we tailor the approach to the real estate industry? So it did a lot of research for us around specific pain points, industry terminology and examples, how to address AI skepticism, some success stories. Here are the marketing channels that we can use. So basically this goes on and on. Look at how long and detailed this is. This thing is endless. So what's really cool is if you want, you could basically do two things. You could take this and you can have it kind of like refine the existing website. One other thing that I would highly recommend now that you have this, so you can actually go ahead and just click the share link to open it up here, and you can actually just download this as a PDF or a doc. And I would honestly recommend like spinning up a custom GPT for this and just dropping in this marketing plan into a custom GPT. So now you can basically just like ask questions about how you should market it. And it's going to pull from all this research it already did and give you suggestions of how you can create effective marketing. So this part's cool too. The overall content calendar and theme. So with week 1 and like week 2, like objection handling, credibility. Week 4 is focused on future vision and next steps. So basically, it just gave us kind of like 4 weeks and lead magnets and offer strategies. And there's so much good information here, like it's insane. So like I'm probably just going to save this and keep this, right, and maybe I'll give this out to the community members. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this as a PDF for now. It's going to take a second because it's big. Okay, great. Cool. So the next thing that we want to do is if we come back here is basically, okay, so great. We've basically created our whole marketing strategy. Like awesome. So I want to take that and I want to just use it to create a little 7-day action plan. And I'm not going to use deep research for this. We're just going to use the normal ChatGPT-5. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk and I can basically say, great, now that we have all of this marketing research, I just want to create the first 7 days of an action plan so that I actually can break it down into say like 2 to 5 different specific actionable tasks or steps I can take every single day to grow the AI agency starting from scratch. So I'm going to send this off. It's going to transcribe it. You know the drill by now. I'm going to go ahead and send this. And so now it's going to understand the research and the plan that it gave us. And it's basically just going to give us a 7-day launch plan for starting from scratch. So this is super, super cool. Like now you know exactly the steps you need to take just to get started. Getting started is one of the hardest things. So day 1, positioning and profile. So rewrite your LinkedIn headline and about section to this, helping real estate teams close more deals with AI automation. Like, great. Love that. You know exactly who your ICP is, super targeted. So create and update the LinkedIn company page, update your bios on TikTok and YouTube to state the same thing, ensure that Calendly or similar is live on the website. So you would basically just tell Lovable to, integrate Calendly and, hook it up with your API and all that stuff. I'm not going to cover that here, but essentially that's what you're doing. Day 2 is all about core content. So draft and post a LinkedIn launch post announcing your agency and focus on real estate. Film and upload a 60 to 90 second TikTok, script and record a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video. It gave us a title, 3 ways realtors can use AI to save 10 plus hours a week. People are going to watch that. Lead magnet development. Outline and write a 2 to 3 page PDF. You can use AI for this. 5 AI automations every real estate business should have. Design the PDF in Canva, or like honestly, I might throw this in like Claude and have it just design an artifact or something like that. Build a landing page or Google form. Prospect your list build. Use Sales Navigator or something free to find 25 to 30 target prospects. Cool. Find contact emails via Apollo, log them, and then start day 5 with the cold outreach campaign, writing short, personalized cold emails. If you want to know how to write personalized emails using AI, check out a video on my channel. I've got a couple. Day 6 is all about content and engagement. So post a LinkedIn tip post, 3 tasks realtors waste hours on that AI can automate. This is great. You're already starting to attract your audience with stuff like this. And then as soon as you start booking clients and you have results, you can start sharing your results and it's just going to grow from there. Follow up in community. Follow up with any positive responses and outreach to schedule calls. Join 2 to 3 online real estate groups. LinkedIn, Facebook, Reddit is a great place for this. And introduce yourself briefly. Don't hard pitch, right? Just tell them who you are and what you're working on. And then engage in some group discussions and just like offer helpful, relevant advice, right? So cool. And then basically it says if you want, I can take this and map out weeks 2 to 4. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. But we basically already came in and we handled everything we wanted to do here for step 4 with the 7-day action plan. And I just wanted to create marketing asset number 1. I basically just want to turn all of this information you have from our action plan and the research into our very first LinkedIn post. We need to have a really, really strong hook. We need to add a lot of value for it. And maybe this is something we should have where we actually are announcing the launch of the AI agency, which is basically in accordance with one of the days here. I think this is in accordance with day 2. Yeah, the launch post announcing the community. So let's create that post right now based off the research and everything you know about me. Send that off and let's see what it comes out. So here's a LinkedIn launch post written for maximum scroll stopping power and value directly in line with the launch post task. In the past 6 months, I've seen one thing over and over in the real estate world. Agents and brokers are drowning in busy work. Leads that sit in inboxes for hours before a reply, new listings taking half a day to get marketed across channels, deal stalling, et cetera, et cetera. That's why today I'm launching Your Agency Name, which is an automation agency built specifically for real estate. Our goal is to help real estate teams close more deals in less time without adding more staff. And we do it with these 3 core systems. And these are the same systems that are going to be on your website so that when people can come to your website, they can see your prices and they can literally just book you to do these things for them. Really cool if you're a broker or agent who wants these things. I'm offering 3 free automation audits this month. This is great. This creates scarcity. Alex Hormozy talks about this all the time. You're only going to offer 3, so maybe you might end up getting a lot more responses than this. Nobody knows if you give 10 free audits. Like, do what you want, right? And we'll find a couple of ways to win back 5 to 10 hours a week. Comment AI below or DM me directly, and I'll set you up. This is awesome. Copy and paste this into LinkedIn, and we're good to go. So basically, we just built an entire AI agency from scratch today using ChatGPT-5. We defined our industry and ICP. we built the website using Lovable. We used deep research to create a marketing strategy. We created a 7-day action plan for the first week of things we can actually do to get started right now. And then we created our very first marketing asset to get posted on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed the content today, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to know how to automate all of your LinkedIn content, check out this video up here.